Do you know how to play in the opening? I'm not speaking about theoretical move orders, some lines, remembering them and so on. I'm speaking about the strategy, about the ideas. How, for example, to react if your opponent would shock you with some weird move, weird queen move, for example, how was in this game. Because right now, I'm going to show you a game of two great grandmasters that I bet you never saw before, and I will reveal all major opening ideas for you that even if your opponent would shock you with something weird, you would still stay strong in this game. Let's start immediately from this moment. White, Michael Adams, black, Sergei Tiviakov, two big grandmasters. E4, that is the move. C5, knight f3, d6, a very well-known line. Sicilian defense, and white decided to play bishop b5. A common move, even nowadays. Black can play bishop d7, knight d7, knight c6, whatever. So knight c6, that was the decision. Castle. And it's a main line still. And here Tiviakov decided to play bishop g4, which is already quite a rare move. Probably Adams was surprised with this. Because let's say more common is to play bishop d7 to cover up the pin and have an ability to take on c6 with the bishop. The theory goes with rook e1, a6, bishop goes to f1. White wants to hold the bishop for the better time because after taking on c6 they can't destroy the pawn structure. Is the bishop on d7 he would took. And we want to compete to the center with c3 and d4. Quite a logical approach, very, very heavy position, and it's a lot of theory here. But what to do returning back to the game with bishop g4, as it looks like a bit strange. Probably black prepared something. White responded with c3, h3, I'm sorry, and after bishop h5, c3. The idea is very, very logical, to have a d4 at some time. Competing for the center, that's the essential rule of the opening, the rule number one. And what white wants to do is to play d4 to seriously pretend to be more active in the center. The other essential rule for the opening, to make the castle ASAP already on the board, made by white, because the king is already on g1. And the third rule is just to develop your pieces. Everything is easy, just follow the rules. But black decided to shock opponent with queen goes to b6. What to do now? Is it like a theoretical home prep or what is it? The idea is obvious. If you take on c6, then now after queen takes c6, the structure is still complex for black. They don't need to destroy the pawn structure. And what to do with that queen? How to use this? Because as we know, when the queen comes too early in the opening, it's always bad. Because the queen would be attacked further and opponent can gain tempos to the development of the pieces. How to use this disadvantage of the queen move? Knight goes to a3. That looks a bit weird. We know that it's not that good to put the knight on the last file, normally. But here we have reasons. First of all, we just natively protected the bishop on b5. The second reason, the knight could be enrolled to the game via the c4, attacking the queen on b6. So this move has the logic. After a6, bishop goes a4, white's ready to compete for the center seriously. Let's say if now knight goes f6, white can seriously think about the e5 move. Use your active pieces. Use your advantage in development to become better in the position. The point is, after d takes c5, we can play knight g4. The idea is to unchain our knight because he was pinned. And after bishop g6, take on e5. And despite the pawn move, our king feels himself very good because the king weakness is the proportion between his position, how it looks like, and the ability of the opponent to attack the king. Obviously, black can't attack the white's king. They have a lack of development. Their king stuck in the center. So after, let's say, e6, I can play d4, and the central battle is coming up. The computer assesses this position as purely winning for white. For example, if you try to play bishop e7, having an idea to make a castle, I can play knight c4, the knight finally comes out, queen goes c7, bishop goes to f4. Now I want just to take the g6 bishop, attacking the queen with discover attack from the knight. So let's say queen c8, and even I can do d takes c5. So the idea now is after bishop takes c5, trying to prevent knight b6, I can just take, and play knight d6, which forces black to take on d6, and after queen d6, resignable position. The king stuck in the center. He can forget about the castle. The position of him is so weak. Probably I can do something like that. The c6 pawn is the weakness, so it's like an absolutely winning position, and it's c6 weakness as well on the board. So that's kind of an example line. So what to do after bishop a4? Honestly, this position is already tough. Probably the best continuation to play e6, pretend to develop less aggressively without having knight f6, e5. But here still after d4, we are better in the center. Even computer proves the edge of white. What could be an example line? Let's say if you played bishop e7, I can still play d5. I can neglect the fact of your development and still continue an attack. As first world chess champion Stanis taught us, if you have an initiative, you need to attack. Essential rule. And here, what it is. White's trying to attack as hard as they can. Let's return to the position. Queen goes c7. This move maybe even was a kind of a home prep of black. I don't know, honestly. White responded with d4, the most logical move. Just we are strictly following the rules. Development, center, and castle. Everything is great from the white side. And black decided to play b5. This move now is losing totally. I hope that this reminds you the famous game of Paul Morphy against the free consultants, how he won. Because the same approach white used in this position. For sure, we don't want to play back with the bishop. It's just too passive. After, let's say, take, if you take with the queen now, black has still some time to develop after c takes d4. On c takes d4, they're ready to take on d4 with the knight with a double attack to the bishop and the queen. They want to play probably g6, bishop g7. They could have chances to survive at least. That's a better version. Even white saves the compensation, even after rook d1, let's say. Because like d takes c3, I can take on c3, and pair of bishops, better development, that's for sure. But for what we need to suffer here without the pawn, if directly after b5, we can use the spirit of polymorphy to play knight takes b5. That's essential sacrifice. Takes. And what to do now in this position as black? It's honestly totally done. Let's say, like, if you stay on a place, I want to play d5 and take back the knight on c6. If you play rook b8, I can play queen a4, totally okay, increasing attack. And if, let's say, takes, the fact that it's two pieces for the rook is not helpful because we still want to play d5 in this position. We now have a passer that could be queen on like next 5-10 moves, right? And as well, we are still having a domination in development. So black decided after bishop takes b5 to play castle long, at least to castle, at least to try to finish up. But all these pieces are quite far away from the gameplay. That's true, unfortunately. And the king is destroyed. The next move that white played is really brilliant. b4. Let's now stick to the attack. What essentially we need to attack successfully to the king? We need to open lines. We need to open lines all across the kings of opponent position. b4 is basically about it. If you would take on b4, with the pleasure, I can even take on b4 here in this position. And now we have a c line, after all, for our weight pieces. So that would be winning for white. In the game, black decided to play bishop f3. And even without a distraction of queen takes f3, I mean to distract the queen, white decided to take with the pawn. Again, the king is absolutely secure. White, they don't need to care about the pawn structure on the king side because it's better to save a resource of queen a4 to have this in a reserve to attack. Black decided to play knight b8, but now it's really tough to make an advice for them. White's just winning. Queen a4, c4. Black tried to keep the position as close as it possible. But now d5. White's strategy is very easy. They want to neglect the fact they down on material because they have more pieces enrolled to the game. They want to finish up the development and then organize the pawn storm to the position of the black king, while it takes too much time to enroll all that pieces. Hopeless position. Let's enjoy how Michael Adams finally won it. It was knight f6, bishop goes to e3 calmly, knight d7 trying to bring another piece to the defense, bishop goes to c6. Just like a normal move. You can't take on c6 because after d takes, if let's say knight b8, I can just play b5. Some more point I want to play b6, the knight can't be moved, absolutely losing position, hopeless for black. So black decided to play e6, just trying probably to enroll the bishop, too late. b5, now we need to keep our eye on the possibility of b6. Takes, knight b6 for that purpose, just to block the pawn from the movement, but it's not helpful at all. Queen goes b4. And at some point, we would advance the a pawn. It's just like a pawn storm. I even consider an opportunity as white to promote a queen, like absolutely winning position. Bishop goes to e7, too late for the development, just like a4. Honestly, black can resign even here. According to the computer, the advantage is already higher than +5 for white. And it's true, nothing to do against the a and b pawns. Let's see how the game ended. Bishop goes f6, a5, takes. Yeah, monstrous pawns. Now what to do with the knight? If you would play something like knight a8, in fact, you save the knight. But really, I can even play like bishop b6, winning absolutely, because after knight b6, a b6, that would be a forced checkmate. I think that I can even do the calm move, queen takes c4, and just I want to play rook b1, then probably rook b7, and win this position step by step. The knight on e8 is disgusting. He can't be enrolled to the game. No ideas. So black decided to play knight takes d5, but that's not even a fire show. Queen b5, everything is calm now. What to do with the knight is not obvious. On knight c3, we can just do check here and rook b1 with the following checkmate after knight b1, rook b1. So absolutely winning here. Black tried to play rook e8, but after bishop b6, black decided to resign in this position. Nothing to do. After knight takes b6, we can just take queen b8. For example, I can play rook a8, queen takes e8, and b7, winning the queen. So a nice game that reveals us how to better play in the opening and how to punish our opponent for the mistakes. I hope that you enjoyed it. Please share your opinion in the comments. That's very important for me. And don't forget to hit the subscribe button. See you soon on my new episodes.